Okay, so let's get started making this. It's called a shelf card. It folds up like this in your envelope, and then you can display it like this. I didn't put a sentiment on the front because I wanted it to be kind of timeless, where you can display it. Whoever you send it to can display it anytime. Okay, so let's get started. Here's the kit, and with this shelf card, everything's going to be cut and scored for you. This is the card base, and I'll give you the dimensions as we go along. 9.5 by 4 1/4. So, and then I scored it at 1.5, 1 1/4, 3 1/4, and 4. So I'll tell you again. This is 9.5 by 4 1/4. I scored it 1/2, 1 1/4, 3 1/4, and 4. So, and I'm just going to fold along those lines, and it'll take shape really quickly. You'll be surprised how quickly this goes. And that's the bottom part here. I'm going to make sure all of these are folded nice. I might just use my bone folder just to make sure that they are nice and crisp folds, so that the shape, it keeps its shape really well. Okay, and then while we got our bone folder out, this is Poppy Parade, by the way, but you can use any color that you want and any DSP that you want. This is what is this? Oh yeah, this is for die cutting. We need a smaller piece, a different piece. The piece that you want will be scored. So this is a piece of Poppy Parade also. It is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. So 4 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I've scored it at 1.5, 1/2, and 1 1/4. So I'll tell you again, 1/2 and 1 1/4. Okay, so 2 3/4, 4 3/4, 1/2, 1 1/4. And that makes the little flappy part that we put our tulips on. Okay, so those are done. Now we can do some putting on of paper before we do our stamping. I have 2 pieces of basic white that are 4 by 5 1/4. They're stuck together. 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go here, and there's like 1/8 of an inch all around. So we'll just go ahead and we're going to put that on with some of our Stampin' Seal. So it's going to go on the back. So this is the front. It's going to go the inside of the back of the front. Okay, that's not perfect, but it'll have to do. Now we have some DSP. The DSP it's cut with the flowers in the portrait, and it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and it's going to go right on top of that white. Like so. Alrighty, and then the back is going to have this, which we'll be stamping on. So we'll start a little stamping pile over here. Our other 4 by 5 1/4 stamped on, and then on the front part here, this part, we want to put some of our dotted DSP. Now this is 3 7/8 by 1 5/8. So 3 7/8 by 5 and 1, 3 7/8 by 1 5/8. But first, before that, we've got to find our white piece of basic white that is 4 by 1 3/4. It's going to go right here. So let's go ahead and put that on. Now you can use this or you can use glue if you think glue works better for you. There's 1/8 of an inch all around, if that helps you. So that was 4 by 1 3/4, and now we have our 3 7/8 by 3 7/8 by 1 5/8, and it's going to go there. And I'm going to do this right here, just like this. And this has 1/16 of an inch all around. And if you're new at this, you might want to use the glue because the glue gives you some wiggle room. Now to assemble this, we want it to end up looking like that. But rather than trying to glue this to this, there's an easier way to do it. So we're going to put some tear and tape, or you can use glue. Or if you have the stronger Stampin' Seal Plus, you might want to try using that. I'm a real fan of this tear and tape because it's easy to work with, and it just like it says, you just tear it. It works better if you burnish it before you remove it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to fold it like here, that last fold, and then this one we're going to fold down. So this is what you have. You have this smaller piece and then the larger piece, and then tucked under is this 3/4 piece and half piece. And once we take that off, we're going to fold it at the bottom and press it down. So let's do that. Hopefully I don't lose you. So if you're using glue or whatever. So that last fold there, and push it down. And then when you fold it back up, you see you have, it's perfect. No errors there. So I'm trying to remember how I did this one. Okay. This one here is going to go like right there. So we're going to put, first of all, a piece of white, basic white, and you'll be getting one basic white, and it's going to go right here with 1/8 inch all around. Just like that. And then on here, you're going to put your tear and tape on this 1/2 inch flap, or your glue, whichever it's going to be. Now let me make sure that I'm going to do this right. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think that's how I did it. Yep, that's how I did it. So I flattened that out, and then on this piece we're going to put our tear and tape, if we can find the end of it. All right, there we go. So we got our tear and tape there, and then also here at the bottom You're going to put some tear and tape there as well. All right, so here's what we got to do. We make sure if I do that and then we pull, let's see, if I do that, it's going to pull, yeah, all right. So this is flat and this is flat right here. I'm going to remove this tape here. I hope I'm in camera. So flat and flat. Now, this crease right here, you want this to be approximately a ½ inch from this crease right here and in the center. All right, so I'm going to turn it this way. So this is flat, ready to stick, ½ inch from this fold in the center as well as you can get it, and then make sure before you press it down that it's going to be in the center up here. And then when you're pretty sure, whoops, when you're pretty sure that it is where you want it, then you can press it down. All right, so now it's ready to do this. So now you're going to take it and press it down this way, and you're going to remove this tear and tape. So it was pressed this way flat. It's going to be pressed this way flat, and you're going to have it just so this is touching, and then press this down right here. Now if you were going to use glue, you could put your glue on there now. And now we have our shelf. It's not difficult if you follow the directions, but it can be tricky if you get a little confused about what you're supposed to do. All right, so we do need to stamp the back, and then we're going to die cut some of these awesome things and then decorate the front. So let's go ahead and decorate the front first. So for your leaves and stems, you have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 pear pizzazz. So let's get our dies out. So for this, you're going to do, let me see, did I do all small? I think I did. I'm pretty sure. Or did I? Or did I? Let's see. There's that one. And there's that one. There's that one, and there's that one. So I did do all small ones. So you do have 2 leaves. And this is the smaller one, so we're going to do 4 of those, and then we're going to use the smaller stem, and we're going to do 2 of those in our pear pizzazz. For the tulips, we have a piece of Poppy Parade that is 5 1/2 by 2 1/8, and that we're going to cut. Not this one. This one makes the little bud. We're going to cut this one, and we're going to cut this one here, but not this one. So we're going to die cut those. Okay, so I had to edit this. For the petal pink, it's going to be 2 1/4 by 4, and you're going to do 3 petals and 1 of this V-shaped petal. So there are our three petals and one V-shaped petal. Okay, so that's, and then you'll color these later. So let's make some room for our big machine. We can do these in the little machine if we wanted, but the big machine we need for our I make that noise all the time. It's because I'm such a wimp. Okay, so we're going to need 4 leaves and 2 stems. Okay, so here we go. There's one. It's going to go really fast, guys. We're going to make this go fast. And 2. I tried using the large and the small leaf, but it didn't work out. The large leaf was just too big for the card. Okay, so there's 2 leaves, 2 stems. We need 2 more leaves. One more leaf. It sounds bad, but it's really not. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's supposed to make that noise. Okay, now we're going to do our Poppy Parade, the tulip, outsides of the tulip. All right, so let's bring these in, our die cuts. And now some of your die cuts might have dimension from the dies. I see that as a plus. You might not. You might see that as it doesn't look right, but it actually adds some dimension to the die cut. So these I'm going to put somewhere where they don't get lost. Okay. These we want to put some what do I say, color on. We want to kind of like make them some dimension with ink. And in your envelope you'll find, don't need that right now, you're going to find a little sponge. I make up sponge. I'm going to use the one I've been using so that I can be frugal. But we're going to need our Poppy Parade ink, and I'll put this one over here so I can use it again. So you use your Poppy Parade ink for this. We're going to, there's folds here. You're going to fold that, and you're going to fold this. And that makes your little tulip part. Now, you see where it has the markings there? We actually want to take advantage of that. Here, this one, it has a fold there. So where you can see where the die made marks, you're going to get your, now you might need to get yours more inked up than me because I've already used this, so it's got quite a bit of ink in it. So I'm going to use this to put some ink over those marks. Now this side isn't going to show, and this isn't going to show. So just on the edges here and here. And then you can take it and kind of go like this on the edges. Be careful because it's so delicate. And then on the inside right here, that's where you want to do this one, this piece. Okay, so outside, and then the inside of this. Now for these guys, you want to do it kind of like all around. Like that. Try not to get your fingers too inky, but keep a baby wipe nearby or some kind of wipe so that if you do get ink, you can just wipe it right off and not get it on something else. All right, so that's our inking with our Poppy Parade. We can put our Poppy Parade away. And I did get a little bit of ink, so I'm going to use my wiper for that, my Honest Wipe from Target, and keep that in my little dish over here so that I've got it handy. Now for this, we want to turn these so that they're all facing with the kind of the same way. With that part that's kind of dimension, we want that standing straight up. I usually use, don't use a block, but with this I'm going to use a block. I'm going to use my D block. From my stamps, I want the small leaf stamp and I want this stem stamp. So here's my stem stamp. You can see my stamps are nice and pink from all the red ink that I've been using. Here's a little runaway. All right, so I'm going to turn this the same way as and I'm going to get my Old Olive ink pad. Now, if you have a surface that you want to protect, you might want to put something underneath there. I just changed, so I think I'll put my plastic underneath, my 4x6 plastic, so I don't want to have to do my paper again so soon after just one use. All right, so I'm just gonna, these are clear, you can line them up. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just putting some dimension and a little extra look to your leaves. But you can see it makes a big difference in how they look. Okay, so we have our leaves. And now we're going to clean off this stamp and then put our stem stamp on, our stem stamp. So let's get our stems the same direction and then get our stamp in the same direction as the stems. I had to do it diamond shape, it won't fit otherwise. Okay. Now this is a little trickier, but not really that hard. Okay. That's that. If you need to wipe this off because you got some ink on it, go right ahead just in case. So we'll be using this a little bit in a minute. Make sure you don't have any ink on your hands, and got to clean up this stamp. Then the next stamping we do, we're going to use our Stamparatus. So we'll put our block away, and we're done with these. So let's just go ahead, since we're in the stamping mood, get our Stamparatus out. And oh my goodness, look at that. This one is, I need to change out my paper, don't I? So these are photopolymers, so you're going to need your foam mat. I've got my deluxe foam mat underneath. No one deserves a happier birthday than you, but you can put whatever you want there. If you don't want this to be a birthday card, whatever stamps you have at home, feel free to use that. On the back, there's plenty of room. You can put anything you want back there. Anything at all. Okay. Let's get our No one deserves a happier birthday than you. 4x6 paper, plastic, not paper, plastic. And make sure it's not upside down. Now this is a portrait card, so when we go to, make sure that's in the corner. When we go to stamp, we want to make sure we stamp it portrait. And we're going to use our Poppy Parade ink. Beautiful red, bright, cheery, springy red, which we all need. Get out of this winter mode. And it goes, I believe, in the center. Let me see. Yeah, in the center, right there, there. Okay, I hope that's, sometimes it's hard for me to tell because I get a little blurry-eyed and I can't tell for sure. Okay. Now with the Stamparatus, if we don't get the perfect image the first time, we get a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance, however many chances we need. Just be sure to pick it up slowly so that your paper doesn't move. Happier. No one deserves a happier birthday. Now I'm seeing that happier is not, so I'm gonna, I think maybe it's having a hard time because that magnet was just so close. Ta-da! Okay. Done with that. Clean off our stamp and our Stamparatus plate. All right, let's see. Done with this. Done with this. Bye-bye. Done with this. Now I did want to dress this up a bit, so I cut a piece of that polka dot 3/4 by 3 7/8 just to put down here at the bottom, and I think I will use glue for that because it is a little bit of a trick to get that just perfect. So it's about more than 1/8 of an inch, but not quite 1/4 from the bottom, and then it's the same from side to side. You can see why I use the glue as opposed to the Stampin' Seal. Okay, ta-da! So let's just go ahead and put that on the back before we put all the fun stuff on the front. Make sure you're not putting it upside down. And then there's 1/8 of an inch all around. Come on. All right, it's off a little crooked. I'm going to try to twist it off. There. Okay, so we are ready to do the front, and this is kind of the fun part. So don't get too don't get too afraid. So the one that looks kind of like a V, we'll work with that one first. We need 2 of your little things there. Basically, you're going to follow along the line there, and I'm going to use glue. So put a little bit of glue there and kind of follow along. You just want to make sure that it can fold and that it is, you can see it. So make sure it folds and that you can see it. But you can see I just kind of followed along the line there. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to follow along this line. Put my glue there. Doesn't take a lot. I'm going to follow along that line. Before it dries, I'm going to close it just to make sure that it is where I want it. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. There. There is our gorgeous. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. There, that looks good. Our little tulip. I'm trying to fix that gap right. There's a little gap at the bottom. I'm trying to fill that gap. Fill the gap. There, and I have to be careful with this and make sure that you have it spread apart nicely, because it kind of wants to do this, which I guess would look all right, but it looks better, I think, if it's spread apart. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and a little here on that side. Okay, so here we have our glue. I'm going to hold that there, and I'm going to push this down, and I'm just going to hold it in place. Give it plenty of time. It's oozing out a little bit. I'm just going to wipe it away, and then later, make sure you get all the glue off your hands. Later I can come back with an adhesive eraser or any kind of eraser and erase that off. Alrighty, come on. Hold it good and long because you don't want it to pop open. Okay, so there's that one. The next one I think is a little bit easier. Whoops. I always forget something. Okay, so we just need to take our red, and there's enough ink left on this that I can go ahead and do this one. Okay, now we're up to snuff. So so we have this, and then this is going to go on the inside there, and then this is going to go on the inside there. All right, so here we go. These folds down like that. I am going to put some glue on the back of this. Not a lot. And I'm going to put it here in the center. And before it has a chance to dry, I'm going to make sure that it's kind of where I want it. And that's kind of where I want it. And then this is going to slide under behind it, just like that. All right, and that's our tulip. I really should have put this one down first, the back one, but I forgot to. So yeah. So I'm just gonna try to put some glue here along the edges of this. I don't want it to stick out too much. Maybe a little more down here. You can see where I put my glue. I'm going to close these up. This one I obviously did my glue in the wrong place. It needs to go here. Now if it oozes, like I said, just wipe it with your finger and then wipe off your hand. We'll get it later. It'll get got. Okay, so I think that's dry enough. Now we need two stems. One going that way, one going that way. We need some leaves. We want opposite leaves. So, and I've got glue on my fingers, so the curly part of the leaf is up here, and on this one the curly part is down there. On this one the straight part is here in the back, and the curly part is here. So curly part, straight part, curly part, if that makes any sense to you at all. Okay, so just kind of figure, you know, what would it look like if it was a flower? What would a flower look like? And oh, it just drives me crazy that the glue that just won't let go. All right, so that's about, now that I've wiped my hands, I can't do anything with them. Okay, so I think the best thing to do is to work here on our canvas. So this is our canvas, and we are going to, I've got to get some of that sort quick. Just a second, I can't touch anything. I've wiped my hands so much I can't touch anything. So here we go. Get some of that on the sort quick. Okay, so we're working towards the center. So this flower is over here. The one that's whiter is over there. And so we'll do this flower first. We have this leaf, and then we have this leaf. And we have this flower. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get some glue dots, and let's start with our I don't know if my glue dot is, oh, okay, it will cover. You just want to make sure you pull it away. You don't want to you pinch it away. You don't want to pull it, you'll tear your, so it's kind of in the center down here, about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. There we go. This leaf, twist it away. It's going to go kind of here, and then this leaf is going to go twist, twist. That one's sticking out, so, and it's going to go kind of over here. And then our flower, I think I put that on with some mini dimensionals. I'm going to put a glue dot here at the bottom, but then I'm going to put a mini dimensional somewhere. I know y'all can relate. I'm going to put a mini dimensional here and here to give it a little bit of hope and help. Where's my glue dot? I thought I put a glue dot on here. There. So I'm not going to put it at the very end. I'm just going to kind of put it, I'm more concerned about where it is in relation to the canvas. Okay, so now we've got that one done. Push that underneath. Okay. So this one, you recall we want it to go that way. So let's get some glue dots. And I didn't pinch. Okay, pinch away and pinch away. That one might be a little too close to the edge. This is going to go kind of underneath. I'm only going to put one glue dot on it because I have to slide it underneath. Kind of like that. And then this one is going to go on top like that. And then the flower is going to go right here. So I'll put a glue dot there, and one near the bottom. And then this is going to go kind of here. I need a glue dot here. And then I need some mini dimensionals. Come on. Yeah, that looks good. There. Now, I noticed that with this one particularly, there's a little fold, like you can see there's a bit of a fold. So I took my scissors, wherever they got off to. Am I the only one that has things walk away? I hope not. It was just right here. Scissors. Here they are. I was using them to cut the butterflies out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of come in here and I'm going to snip. Snippity snip. And I just cut that fold right off. And I did the other one as well. But if it's not, doesn't look too bad, you don't have to. There. That just gets rid of the fold. This fold I didn't do, so maybe I'll do it now. I just think that fold is a little bit too distracting for me. All right, so we are ready to do some ribbon. You got 12 inches of the faux linen ribbon. Find your front. So this is the front. So we're going to pick it up and make 2 loops. And then this loop we're going to put flat over that one and make what I call the bunny rabbit. There's the face of the bunny and the 2 ears. I'm going to push this ear through its face from the back and catch it over here and pull gently. Then I'm going to make up my make my bows even, my loops even. Now when I go to pull it, it's going to be bigger, so I don't want it to be too big before I pull it tight. Alright, I think that is about the size I want. Maybe a little smaller. Pull it tight. And I'm going to trim it straight up. Straight up. This one I think is a little bit longer than I want it. Alright. I think the bow just adds a lot of color and continuity to it. It looks like this is the flatter part, so I'm going to put my 2 glue dots, pinch, pinch, side by side right here. I'm going to just put it right over that. Fluff it up a little bit. And now I'm ready for my butterflies. Should have 1 large and 1 small butterfly in here. And they may want to stick because of that plastic that they're on. Get my take your pick tool. I'm going to put the big butterfly over here and the little butterfly, come here, is going to go up here. All right, we are done. Sorry about the mishap with the petal pink and forgetting to do this piece. Hopefully, like I said, if you get in a pinch, you can always use white or another color pink, but hopefully you catch this before you finish your card. Okay, so there we go. We are done. I hope you enjoyed making this shelf card. I hope you'll make lots of them. They're not that difficult. They're just step by step, and you'll be fine. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you for joining me. See if you can make this card. You can always switch it up. You can always switch up the colors and just see how many different cards you can make. And it's something beautiful to display in the home. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for project number 2. Bye.